Hello everybody and welcome back. It is I, your local Tamer. Today we're going to be looking at another deck profile. We're going to be looking at black again because it is one of my favorite colors for this game. And we're going to be looking at a budget blocker deck. So first off, as you can see, we're going to be looking at Sunimon. He is our starting off level 2. He has, during your an inheritable skill of during your turn when another Digimon in play with the same name as this Digimon gets 2000 DP. Unfortunately, I only have one, or I'd be running 4 of him. He is easily the best of the black level 2s. In fact, he's the only good black level 2, which is black's biggest drawback at the moment, is they have terrible, terrible level 2s. It's not that they're bad, it's just they are very, very focal on what they want your deck to be. There's no, more spread out baby that can let you just have a general effect. Overall, they're very focal on what you want to do. You have the reboot one, you have this one, which is probably the most generalized of them all, and then all the other babies are just very, very focused, and you have to be in that lane, and if you get out of it slightly, you lose all the effects for that baby. Unfortunately, since he is the rare, we only have one. From there on out, we're running 4 copies of Capurrimon. Other than that, we know what Capurrimon does. Not too much to say on that. Running into rookies, we are running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 rookies. So we're running 4 copies of Gargimon. It's just cheap with a 3k body. In-play cost of 2, Digivolution cost of 0. We're running 4 of them because he's cheap and he has a 3k body. Running 4 copies of Gatsumon. He's also a 3k body. He's a 3 cost. He has blocker, and he is your when attacking lose 2 memory blocker. Very, very good for early game. He's able to stop a lot of rookie attacks because a lot of rookies, well, most rookies are around 1k. He's a 3k body, so they can swing into him all day long, and they are worse for wear than we are. We're running 3 copies of Toy Agumon for reboot. We're also just running him for base numbers. We really aren't looking to reboot a whole bunch. We do have some blockers that if we play on him, we can continuously block every turn. Just because we can swing with him. There are some blockers we can have in this deck that can swing with no penalty. So being able to ready them is worth it. And then finally, we are running 2 copies of Chuman because he screws with memory acceleration on the opponent's turn. So they can only get memory effects from Tamer effects rather than across the board big effects such as like green and red. Next up for our champions, we are running 4 copies of Gargimon, Gardromon. There is a difference between Gardro and Gardro. Gargimon is our 7k blocker. He is our cannot attack blocker. 5 costs with a Digivolution cost of 2. He is probably one of our best blockers because he can block even up to ultimates and still, while he won't survive, he can trade with ultimates evenly. And he can get rid of most champions because he is so beefy with 7k power. You're running 4 copies of Tankmon. Tankmon's from the new set. I really do like him because he's cheap. He is a 6 cost, but he's a 1 Digivolution cost, so that saves us on memory. He's a natural 6. He has no inheritable skill, but he's there for numbers. So we can sit there with a 6k body and continuously swing down into the champions, into some champions and win. We could possibly survive some security checks against rookies and other champions and still come out on top. And then we're running 3 copies of the new Garurumon. He is a 4K. He's a 5/2. He has a security ability of after the battle, play this card without playing anything. So if he's in your security, you get a free body to swing it for your next turn, or to continue your Digivolution route. 4K body's a little weak, but he comes into play for free, so I see him as worth it. Next up, we are running 4 copies of Edamon, because Edamon is how we get our win condition. So Edamon is a 7-cost 6 body with 3 Digivolution cost. He is a blocker, but he can attack. He also has on deletion, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You may play 1 level 6 Digimon with Edamon in its name from among them without playing its memory costs, and then place the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck in any order. So we can swing with him and attack for free. That's great. We can also block with him, and if he trades evenly or gets beat out, he can when he pops, he goes and gets us a Metal Edamon. That is really, really good. We have a 50-card deck with 4 cards apiece. We got around roughly 20% chance of pulling this off, give or take. 1 in 8 cards. So, we have a chance of getting it pretty consistently. Not as consistent as I would want. But, top 5 is always better than top 4 or top 3. And he can, like I said, he can trade pretty evenly. We're running 3 copies of Andromon. Andromon is our other blocker that can attack without penalty. 7 cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 power. He's about your standard ultimate. He blocks, which means we can trade or we can take down champions and rookies, no problem. We can also just trade ultimates, which is also fine. Just the fact that he's a blocker means he can at least save us from attacks. Next up, 3 copies of Megadramon. Megadramon is really here to be put into your security if possible. I know that's kind of a chance considering that's all random circumstance. But he can swing over ultimates. Not a lot of ultimates are 9K. He's cheaper than most of our other ultimates, too. 3 Digivolution costs, 9,000 power. He has no inheritable skill, but that's fine. He is merely here for the raw power. Like I said, he can swing down into other ultimates, come out fine. He can definitely wipe out all rookies and all champions. And if you check him in security, he'll actually beat out a lot more than most people think. We are now for our megas. We are running 4 copies of Metal Edamon. Metal Edamon is a 12 cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 10k body. During your turn, he cannot be blocked by your opponents. That's already fantastic. It means they have to take damage every single time he swings. And during your opponent's turn, he does have 12k. Boosting his defense, making him about normal Mega strength now, save for Fusion Megas. With Sunimon, that puts him already at a 12k base, bumping up to 14, meaning he then can match Fusion level Megas during the opponent's turn. So we have that. We are also running 2 copies of Craniumon. We're only running 2 of them because I only have 2 of them, and I wanted to make this as budget-friendly as possible. He is a 13 cost, 4 Digivolution, 12k body. He's a blocker as well, and during your turn, your Digimon with blocker cannot be deleted by your opponent's effects. So he is not here to swing. Once you put out a Craniumon, then you just start putting out blockers. Like Andromon and Edamon and Gargimon. That way they can swing or guard, and you have little impunity on delete effects from your opponent, be they... I don't know if DP Drain catches them or not. I'm not too sure about that. But I know stuff like they can't be Gaia Forced, they can't be Trump Sorted, they can be... Infinity Cannons because they are not being deleted, they're just being devolved. But any other deletion effects, they stick around and you're making your opponents waste a card. Honestly, he is just there to sit and be a big shield like he is known for, surprisingly. Following that up, we are running 4 copies of Atomic Ray. Atomic Ray is a 3-cost option that says during the main phase, unsuspend one of your Digimon with blocker. We get to ready all the time during our own turn. What I really put it in here for is its security effect. Its security effect is unsuspend all your blockers, and then they get 5k. So that means Gatsumon is an 8, meaning he can trade with ultimates and still win. Gargimon is a 12k. He can block Megas. Edamon and Andromon can block Fusion Megas. No problem. So that is why I put it in, and that's why I see that as a very important card to this deck. There on out, we are running 2 copies of Breath of Gods. Breath of Gods is something gains reboot, and its DP cannot be reduced. Digimon cannot have its DP reduced or returned to the opponent's hand or deck. So that means it prevents bounce, it prevents Shine Greymon. It gets reboot, meaning we can ready it quicker, right after the attack or the block. And then security, your opponent's Digimon cannot attack players this turn, meaning hopefully if you get this checked right before you die, that ends the opponent's turn because they can't do any more damage to you. And then we are running 4 copies of Joe Keto. My 4th copy is just off to the side. It's somewhere. I think it's stuck to one of the cards, actually. So, we are running Joe Keto. He is a 2-cost. Your Digimon with blocker gain, at the start of your turn, if you have a Digimon with blocker in play, gain 1 memory. We have nothing but blockers in this deck. You're going to gain memory out the butt. Security is the typical trainer effect, or Tamer effect of play this card without paying its memory cost. He's a 2-cost, so that's not too bad. Joe's pretty straightforward. And that is my budget blocker deck. We are only really running, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rares are above in the deck. Everything else is very easily obtainable. It's just common or uncommons, very few rares, very few secret rares. It's a very fun deck. It's really annoying. This should also help with Rookie Rush because you can block at just about every level. And then if you build out enough blockers, they really can't touch you. Unless they flood the field quicker than you can put out blockers. But you're going to be able to trade, and you're going to be able to keep your Digimon while theirs just keep going down. Again, this is all hearsay. I've only had a limited experience on training with this deck. So far, this is the first iteration. It's gone pretty well. Other than that, this is just a nice, easygoing budget deck for you guys. If you want to build, this is a great deck to get into the game with because it's very easy. The switch outs are fine. If you don't have the Craniumons, you just put in High Andromon and finish out that Andromon line. The Edamons are pretty easy to get a hold of. But yeah, that is the deck. So guys, please leave some comments. Follow me over on the channel just by subscribing. Hit the bell in case you want to know when a new video comes out. I'm trying to be a bit more consistent because I have products. I'm able to build decks. I'm trying to build more decks, so we got some stuff down the road. I'm still trying to keep within my 3 colors in the group, in my play group, so we are going to be pigeonholed into 3 colors, but I'm going to try and build as much as I can out of those 3 colors. So thank you so much for watching.